this was something that happened at the very, very beginning of the film. And no matter how long the film went, because I think it's like an hour and a half and some change,
Mhm.
this was the one thing I walked away with. At one point, one of the professors says, that fearlessness enables us to put ideas into practice, but in order to move the race forward, one must be willing to go against the majority and be content to stand alone. So, Miss Kelley Carter, I want to pose to you, how has that ideology served you well as a woman who is Black, a
Mhm.
woman who is a Black producer, a woman who is a Black producer and on-air talent? And what kind of lesson do you think that this is going to leave for today's youth moving forward?
First of all, I really just ascribe to this ideology that none of us should be comfortable being the only one in the room who looks like us or the only one at the table who looks like us. Like, we really have to make sure that we're creating an environment where we leave a door open, so that other people can kind of join us. And whether we know that kind of exists in the world of education or in journalism or in Hollywood or in fill in the blank industry, I think that that is very true and very foundational. And I think that that also spoke to me, hearing one of the professors say something like that too, because I just think that, I have benefited in my career by having people who felt uncomfortable being by themselves, standing by themselves, who like reached back and like pulled me up. And for me, I would feel like I'm not living fully if I didn't do the same. You know what I mean? And I just think that in order for us to continue to progress, like, it can't just stop when one of us gets there. Like every year still in 2024, we have headlines that say the first Black fill in the blank, which is crazy that that still is happening at this very late day and age. But the truth of the matter is that we can't just celebrate those accomplishments and be done with it. We have to make sure that the second and the third and the fourth and the 1,000th and the 1 millionth, are happening, that we're doing things to make sure that that happens, because that's how we progress as a people. That's how we progress as Black women, making sure that we are looking around, taking stock of the environment that we're in, and making sure that others are kind of following behind us too and standing next to us also.
Right, absolutely. That was a great answer. Thank you, girl.
Okay,
Um,
I'm like, I hope I answered that question.
yeah, you did. You totally answered the question. A couple of other things, and lastly, when you talked about progress, there was this quote in the film where somebody said, "Progress is healing the wound, and America hasn't even begun to pull out the knife." I was like, okay, okay. I
Yes.
mean, we're living in a time where they're trying to ban books. They're trying to erase Black history. So how can you have progress when the knife keeps getting in there and twisted? But
Mm-hmm.
just to close it out, um, one of the other professors said, after I grow and harvest from the soil will be better than I found it. How
Mm-hmm.
do you, I love that. Isn't that a great quote?
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
How do you think the soil of Piney Woods will harvest after this doc is unleashed on the masses?
Honestly, I'm really hoping that, because this is going to be a new experience for a lot of people, like you said, who knew that there were 4 Black boarding schools? And so my hope is that people really help to invest in in resources and development for the schools. I want people to go and visit the campus. I want them to, extend internships, to the students. I really want to kind of open the world up of Piney Woods to everyone else out there, and have someone say, how can I help? How can I invest? How can I help grow something that has been going on for so many years and I never knew it existed?
Over
How
a
can I
hundred
help make it,
years.
how can I help make it a better place? And that truly would be so beautiful and so special. A lot of these teachers at the school, there's some who are retirees who are working because it's just important to them, to continue to foster these kids and give back. And the resources are limited. The school can't afford to pay for the best, the best, the best. And it's also a really hard draw to get, you know, the best teachers in this country to come to Mississippi, a state that still is struggling with education when you look at how it ranks with all of the other states in the union. And so I really hope that people consume this film and they say, how can I help? You know, what can I do to contribute to these already brilliant children to make their lives even better?
That is beautiful. And I know that when Dr. Jones started the school, there was an 80% illiteracy rate in the state of Mississippi. And he single-handedly, along with Miss Morrow, helped change that. So
Yeah.
this is why Piney Woods Sacred Soil documentary is so very, very important. One of my favorite moments, I know I said I was going to close up, but I just had one more thought. Okay. So one of my favorite moments in the entire doc was the moments where the kids would be sitting around and just talking. And they would talk about code switching and they would talk about all these different things and what it meant to them. I wished so sorely that I was in an educational environment in my formative years that allowed me to have those conversations with my peers. The fact that these children are able to do that is going to change the trajectory of their life and their career moving forward, don't you think?
I 1000% agree. Imagine having that safe of an environment, you know, to grow in, to thrive in. Like I can't imagine what that feels like. That certainly wasn't what my K through 12, you know, education was like by any stretch of the imagination. It was the exact opposite, if I'm being honest with you. So I think that, and thank you for pointing that out, because those are some of my favorite moments too, sitting around bonfires and just having the kids be themselves. And I really hope that everyone else who consumes this project sees exactly what you saw, and that they also, it stirs something in them, you know, because I think that's probably the most beautiful thing to me about this film. And what our brilliant director did is really just flesh out the humanity of these children, because
I,
that's what's so beautiful.
I love that. Kelley Carter, tell the folks where they can find you, mama.
Well, of course, I cover entertainment for Anscape and also for ABC News across platforms. So gearing up for all things Oscars right now. So we're just going to try and stay hydrated, as I know you are too, and vitamined up, because it's going to be a crazy long season.
Absolutely. Sis, I appreciate you. I adore you. You know how much I absolutely love you to death. And thank you for taking time out of your morning at the crack for me to talk to you about Sacred Soil, the Piney Woods School.
Well, anytime, anytime. Thank you.
You're welcome.